All right, welcome back to Denoise, a roundup of new AI tools. Ready, Addy?
AI roundup. Yeehaw!
Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about Nano Banana again. These are all rumors, and I would put half. I mean, obviously, there's Nano Banana 2 in the works. There are supposedly Nano Banana 2 leaks online. I don't know how true these are, but we'll talk about it. What did you see, Addy?
No, just a couple of the YouTubers that I follow dearly on YouTube that cover a lot of AI news. There was glimpses of Nano Banana 2. Not sure if it's true or not. You know, when we first covered Nano Banana when it came out, there was like a fake website around it. Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, it was called nanobanana.io
.org or something. Yeah.
or something.
So I don't know what to trust anymore, but I mean, if the news is true and they're Google is working on an update to Nano Banana, oh man, the implications for that. I mean, you can already do so much that you couldn't do 6 months ago. So if there's an update and you could do even more, I'm just curious to know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, in this tweet from Roberto Nixon that may or may not be BS, it is apparently leaked images from an uncensored model. And so it's extremely photorealistic images of like Trump taking a selfie, snapshot looking thing of P. Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein, a CNN screen grab with extremely detailed and accurate graphics.
Wolf Blitzer.
With Wolf Blitzer and Donald Trump getting elected for a third term. All of the chyrons and everything are like accurate. The date is accurate. Like, it looks like a screen grab.
I mean,
if this is true.
Somebody could just easily Photoshop this and build hype around it, get some clicks.
Yeah, the leak apparently came from media.io, like one of the AI aggregator, tool aggregators that I've never heard of. Yeah, and again, it's always like, this happened again. VO 3.1. It was like leaked from some aggregator sites that I was like, I've not heard of you.
You think like the examples that they show, like the Epstein Diddy thing and the Trump winning a third time thing, why is it always political? Like, what?
I don't know.
And I think
why is it the worst case scenario of the worst deep fake looking thing that you do not want on the internet to like confuse even more than things are confusing?
Do you think the average public by now knows that stuff is deep faked and AI generated, and that they should be kind of cautious about what they see and consume?
Define average.
Like the most average Joe Schmo out there, lives in
average. No, if we're looking at the like bell curve medium.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there are those crazy Sora videos on Facebook that, boomers 100% think are true, are real.
Okay. So this could have potentially a big political impact if it is, if it's used correctly.
All of these things could, yeah. It's just getting crazy. And then reality's crazy too. I mean, there are like real images, like the guy fainting in the White House. That image looks fake, but it's a real image. Like,
we just need Nicole Kidman back in here, telling us what's real and what's not. Sorry.
Yeah. So, no, I have a tough time questioning reality as well too.
Yeah.
There was what did I just see? I just saw some TikTok video of there's a crazy over the top parade somewhere, I don't even know, Michigan or somewhere north, and they do these really elaborate floats. And then I saw a video of floats that were scenes from the Titanic sinking. And I thought it was another Sora video because I kept seeing Sora videos of like the Titanic amusement park that were fake. But I think this one is real.
Oh. Okay.
So I don't know. I think eventually we're just going to like have to give up on believing anything we see online.
Do you think the follow-up to my question, do you think the content protection stuff and all of the AI checkmark stuff is going to have any impact at all?
I hope so, but it's up to like every platform adhering to that. And I've seen even some tests of like, you could, if you build an Adobe products and Adobe's pretty good, it has this like tracking and content protection or authenticity and giving you the history of the image. But if you like take that image and put it somewhere else, it just like strips all that metadata, and then it's just a regular image. So like that could help and work if all of the platforms sort of agree to keep the metadata and like display stuff around the metadata.
Right.
Maybe that'll happen, maybe not. I have no idea. On the flip side, it could also help to have some sort of, the authenticating what was real images. But again, it's like when does that line come off of depending on how much you modify the image or edit it, and then if you shoot something with a real camera, but then you edit it in Premiere and then you export it, is like it's still going to have authenticity metadata in it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have an optimistic take on this.
What's your please?
So we're going to definitely see a lot of like political mishap and all this stuff that could potentially harm us and the planet, right, and put us in a wrong direction. Having said that, I think the people that are the best at this tool at the moment, the experts with AI generation, image and video, are our people, our film and TV people, media and entertainment people, and they're probably not going to use the tool for anything like that. They're rather going to use it for creating stories, making something that wasn't possible before, and it's everything that Xavier talked about, Bryn talked about. It's like enabling the single creator to just do something, amplifying something that they couldn't do before. And once you have enough of those examples where you're like, that film was actually really touching and moving, and it was used, it was built by AI using two people. You have enough of those, and then in time, the public will sort of label generative AI as a storytelling tool, as a filmmaker's tool, and not a political manipulation tool. I think the latter will go out of fashion very soon, and it'll be quote unquote cringe to use it in that way.
I think you're thinking of like the kind of memey hobbyist use case. I'm thinking of like the bad actor use case, like foreign states to like mess up the election, bots scammers, like that crazy scam story with the worst photoshopped Brad Pitt images, where he's in the hospital and like some woman was scammed out of like $500,000 because she thought she was like chatting with Brad Pitt and he was like in the hospital and needed her help. And the images were like his face cut out on like a hospital bed. So the images were terrible, but imagine those images actually looking realistic. Right. So yeah, I'm thinking of the bad actor case and how easy these tools are to use.
Yeah, we don't know. I'm glad we're able to talk about it. Viewers, if you have comments on any of this, we'd love to hear it from you on the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's right or wrong here. I think it's just TBD. It's just too soon to be set in stone.
All right, let's talk about something more more positive.
Yeah, let's.
Comfy Cloud.
Comfy Cloud. I just used it this morning. Actually, I'm very positive on this. It's exactly what you'd expect Comfy to be. It runs on a browser. It has all the nodes, and even the keyboard shortcuts are the same. It's quite affordable. Joey, how much are we looking at?
Yeah, according to their boasting, so it's a public beta, so it's still, obviously, they're working out the kinks. But right now, Comfy Cloud is available for $20 a month, which includes $10 credit every month to use their partner nodes, so the nodes that are the API nodes we talked about before, where they just charge you the base rate of whatever they charge. And then up to 8 GPU hours per day.
That's pretty dang cheap, if you ask me.
Which is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, just $20, and basically it's sort of like... up to running 8 GPUs.
Yeah,
and
I don't have 8 GPUs at home.
No, and it's powered by A100 40 gigabyte GPUs. So I think that's really, really fair pricing.
Absolutely. The nice thing about it also is once you launch Comfy Cloud, like your browser kind of launches itself, and then all of the workflows are presets. So if you have for example, image, text to image with Nano Banana, that's a preset. You click on that, it opens up the entire node tree for that workflow, or you could do a video one, and then you can go in and just like regular Comfy, you can upload a LoRa, you can delete nodes, add nodes, change the resolution, like you have full control over it.
I don't know if you got that far down the rabbit hole, but how does that work? Like does it already have the model? Like if you load up a default Comfy workflow, does it already have all those models pre-installed?
Yes.
And then if it didn't have the models, can you download other models now?
I haven't done the latter yet, but like the most popular models, like I'm doing some stuff with Lawn 2.2 Animate, which we're going to share with you guys. That's all. It's such a intricate workflow that's already built up there, and it actually combines a YouTube video with that workflow, so you can go watch the video, figure out how they built the nodes, and then come back to the nodes and modify it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's a great way to start because they built out these custom workflows that are they're ready to go, and you could play with them and use them, and they have great documentation of like put your image here, put this here. But then if you want to start taking it apart and modifying it and rebuilding it, that's there for you too. So they're a great way to start and learn. Yeah, actually, I just answered my question on the blog post. Coming next, upload and use your own models with LoRa's. So I think right now it's just sort of the preset.
It's enough.
Ones, but then
I mean, for 90% of the things, you're going to use those presets.
I wonder, I'm curious how that would work because some of these models are 10, 15 gigabytes. Like, is it just, how do they store it? I'm curious how they're going to figure out if like, you have to pay for additional storage for models or how that works.
I'm guessing they're just going to link to like the GitHub repositories of the models. So you don't actually have to download and upload. You just tie the GitHub to.
But the model still needs to download to get loaded.
I think they'll handle that
VRAM and stuff.
That's my guess.
Oh, you think they'll just like pull it in, use it, and then toss it?
Yeah, if they have like a direct Hugging Face integration or something.
Right. Maybe. Yeah. So I mean, it's great, and it just makes it super accessible. Do you know? Can you use it on like? Because I remember when they first announced it, they were like, "Oh, you can still use local files and run it on desktop." Do you know if you could still use the comfy desktop version and just instead of running the workflow on your computer, you're like send that workflow to the cloud and process it?
I don't think it's hybrid like that. The comfy cloud is like a whole different thing than the desktop application. Yeah. One feedback and note I do have is right now I'm trying to generate some videos, and then like the workflow compiles correctly. Everything is good. It goes into the K-sampler. It starts to churn those GPUs, and then it crashes, which is fine because desktop comfy crashes all the time, but it doesn't tell you what the errors are. Whereas the desktop one will tell you this node da 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 da, and then so you can troubleshoot.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure that's coming. And this future pricing model after beta, all plans will include a monthly pool of GPU hours. It only counts active workflow runtime. You'll never be charged while idle or editing. That's cool. That's a good model. That's good. No. Yeah. I mean, pricing seems super
I'm a big fan. And if you're doing comfy on desktop, I highly recommend you switch to comfy cloud, or maybe just wait till the beta's over. Because look, you're never going to have 8 H100 GPUs. I mean, the power you have over cloud compute is insane. I was a big believer in local GPU in the past. I have a pretty solid NVIDIA RTX that I invested in, and now it feels super dated. Like, I don't really need it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, do I really want to wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes for something to like
hours?
Generate?
I used to wait, I just hit it in the morning and then come back in the evening. Like, you don't have to do that anymore.
The novelty of being able to do something locally, I'm like, all right, whatever.
I think the local stuff is still cool for image generation, right? Image generation is still in the few minutes range, but for video generation, forget about it.
All right, other update, another VO 3.1 Flow update. This one's cool. This is one stuff I've like really always wanted. Camera control, camera position. So there's a new update in Flow, which is Google's like web service to use VO3, and it is you can give it new specific camera control. There's a drop-down menu option to reposition how the camera behaves inside a generated
Greg
shot.
Fraser's probably rolling his eyes looking at this like, that's not right.
Yeah, some of these names I'm like, I would not have called it that. So there's camera position, move up, move left, move closer, orbit, dolly, and then there's camera motion.
I wish there was.
But this is great.
This is technologically really impressive. The whole like spatial awareness and consistency as the camera moves up and down without any distortion. Again, the example we're seeing here could just be a really polished demo, but if this is actually at this quality level, that's a big game changer.
I will test it out because I think it's only on the Ultra plans right now. But also the other thing to keep in mind, and I found this out because there was that other feature that came out with 3.1 that was you could take an existing, or you could take a video and you could like mark an object and be like remove or like replace. These features only work in clips already generated inside VO3. So you have to generate a clip first, and then these tools are only to modify already generated clips. You can't like upload a video clip from another source and then be like, I want to change the camera position or I want to like modify an object. This only works on stuff you already generated inside VO3, inside Flow to further refine that video clip. So keep that in mind. I did not know that at first. I thought it was like Runway Olive where you could like upload a clip and then be like, yeah, change this, change that. But you have to generate it in VO3 first. It's
probably looking at all of the metadata and the intrinsic assets in that generation in order for them to do the camera move. So it's probably looking at the prompt, the seed, and the CFG and all that stuff in order to then take it to the next step.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was like content safety stuff too, like if you're able to generate it in the first place, it already went through its content moderation.
That stuff is pretty easy to block. I would say it's not ready for user uploads yet because it's just not robust enough to do so. That's my guess.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, maybe. Either way, I mean, VO3 is already a really good tool.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that they added more of this stuff in there, that's super cool. I'm gonna mess around with that. All right, more Node updates. Sort of, on the business side.
Oh, yeah, I'm loving this. Exciting news on the creative tools front. So Adobe, who we covered last episode, was the big Adobe Max. The fact that they acquired Invoke AI. Well, guess what? Adobe has two big competitors on either side of the business. I would say on the consumer side, it's more Canva and sort of replacing Photoshop and things like that. And then on the business side, it's Figma. Figma is right now the standard go-to tool for any user interface design, any user experience design. So Figma just acquired Weavy. Weavy is a competitor to Invoke. So Adobe picked up Invoke, Figma picked up Weavy. And now they're more one-to-one and straight up competing with each other on AI node-based workflows for image and video generation.
Yeah, it's like all of the established companies sort of build up their AI toolkit, or you're either building or acquiring existing node-based workflow tools, which has sort of been one of once you kind of level up and need to do more complicated things, nodes are the way to
and
go.
Figma has historically been like their whole ethos is simplicity, right? Photoshop, if you've ever used it, or any Adobe tool, like it's really difficult to master because it just starts to get really complex really fast. With Figma, you can actually still retain that level of simplicity and do a lot more with it. There's less clicks, there's less effort to get to the level of complexity that you need. So them acquiring Weavy, I think, is an indication that they're going to bring a whole new type of node-based workflow that's far simpler than Comfy UI or perhaps even Invoke.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where these go and how they kind of all integrate it, because it's like they're already buying established tools that already have their own workflow and use cases. Like, how are they going to just blend it in, or are they going to kind of keep them separate? I'm curious to see how these. Well, we know Invoke, they sort of shut the website down, so that'll be somehow probably, I'm going to guess, built into Firefly. Yeah. But we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Weavy, I'm curious if they're going to keep Weavy separate or roll it into
If
Figma.
you're a big tech company, there's still a few other players left for sale. So I think we're looking at LTX Studio, Flora-Fauna, LTX Studio, and Joey, Comfy UI.
It's true.
I mean,
that's true.
That is the ultimate tool at the moment.
Yeah, that is. I'd be curious.
I'll be really sad to see Comfy go the way of big corporate takeover.
I know. I think Comfy is so attractive too because it's just like open source and
it feels very like early days Linux, you know?
Yeah, a bit sort of. Yeah, maybe slightly easier to use.
Yeah.
All right, and then a couple kind of papers / new under the radar AI models popped up. One is called CamCloneMaster, and this was at SIGGRAPH Asia, and this sort of addresses one of the things where I'm always like, I just want to be able to have a camera and shoot a shot, and like that is the camera movement for the AI video. This sort of does it. You can basically give a camera reference, a camera movement as your reference input, and then it mimics that exact camera movement in your AI output on top of your starting frame. So we see one example of this sort of like barrel roll camera reference, and then it does the same exact barrel roll on a variety of different images.
Okay, I already have a crazy workflow that I'm thinking in my head. So you build a beautiful set with human actors, and instead of bringing your Arri Alexa, you just bring in your Canon 5D, like a DSLR, and you take really amazing reference photography. and then you take an iPhone and you do your cinematography with it. You're never renting the Arri Alexa, right? Because that's super expensive. And then you use this to get your Arri Alexa level quality out of your iPhone footage.
Wait, so where does your Arri Alexa come in again?
If you were to do a really cinematic, really high quality shot, let's say 2 people sitting in a bar talking, you set decorate the bar, you bring the 2 people in with costumes, you light it, and the only thing that you're lacking is a really high-end cinema camera, like a Red V-Raptor, Arri Alexa, Sony Venice. Those things are generally like, I don't know, $20,000 a week to rent, plus additional crew to man them, and it's cumbersome. So what you do is you get a high-end still camera, like a DSLR. You do reference photography in all types, so you retain a lot of pixel quality, dynamic range quality. And then you take your iPhone and you're just doing the cinematography with your iPhone, right? And you bring that into this model. Theoretically, you should be able to convert your camera language into the quality of the DSLRs without the need for a Sony Venice.
My response to that is, if I was already going through the entire hassle of getting a location and casting and lighting and bringing a crew there, and my one hiccup was like I couldn't afford an Arri Alexa, I still think we could get really good results with like the Blackmagic Ursa or even a Pixis or any other camera.
You won this round, Joey. You won this round.
Hey, we're all here. We're all here, everyone. Hold up. Let me just take a photo right here.
I totally forgot how cheap.
Okay, all right, we're good.
Cheap professional cameras have gotten and how good they are.
I mean, also that also goes to the argument where it's like, you know, really good lighting can make a, you know, whatever quote mediocre camera look pretty good with some decent lighting. I was thinking more for this like in the kind of like craft jet set world where it's like, you know, what if we're filming the movements, but we're just in a very basic bare bone studio with, you know, very minimal props and sets and stuff, but we want to have that camera motion. And so we record that and we use that as the driving for something that's a bit more of an AI workflow.
Okay.
And we save all the money on lighting and the rest of the crew.
If things go the AI success story way, you're talking about elimination of most costuming, most gaffing, lighting, grip. So much of it you won't need. Just people in a...
For some, so yeah, I think it's going to end up being both. Like, I don't think there's going to be some, you know, just AI takes over everything. I think it comes down to, you know, what do you need for this? What do you need for that? Filming a smaller location, a lot of, you know, there's been invisible VFX for decades. Like, you know, that kind of stuff.
True.
And in some cases, maybe for depending on the project, there are synthetic characters driven by human performances. But I think it's going to be a whole gamut. I don't think there's going to be like gaffers and lighting crew and everything just going to
I don't think that as well. I just think that in some cases you would need 20 people to light a set. Now that number comes down to 5 people and like half the amount of lights or whatever, just because you can cover a lot of relighting needs in post.
That's true. I would agree with that. Yeah. I mean, also, I don't even know if that is entirely on AI or just like light technology and a lot of the tech behind that has just gotten better and you can do more with a smaller crew. Or there's just not even a budget.
There's not enough budget. That's probably the biggest motivator, biggest enabler for sure.
Other paper, MotionStream. And so this was pretty cool. It is real-time generation, click and drag, and the motion inside the video is being modified in real time through the mouse movement.
Play the video?
Can you see it? Basically, the mouse is... Let me try to get better. Let me see if it's a better example.
Oh, you're doing this live? Oh, it's a video.
No, It's a video playing. But the video is doing it live. The video is clicking on this thing, and now it is dragging this dog head around with the mouse, and the dog head is moving.
Dang, that's like a control rig from animation. That's insane.
Yeah, and it's happening,
And it's real time, near real time, or absolutely real time, or are we talking 0.4 second latency?
Near real time.
0.4 seconds at 29.
29 frames per second, 0.4 second latency.
I would say that's real time.
Yeah, look at this. Elephant's moving based on the direction of the mouse
Holy
in
shit.
real time.
This is crazy.
Our model runs casually in real time on a single NVIDIA H100. All video results shown here are raw screen captures without any post-processing.
Yeah, this is a character control rig.
Between these two papers, the camera control and this is where I keep seeing the AI video generation going. Like more control, you have the camera control, you have real-time control, like when we click and drag and move things around. That's where I see this going,
For sure.
Get rid of
I think if you give this technology raw, in its raw form, to an animation studio like a Pixar, right? The character riggers and the people that build control rigs for characters will far better build the tooling around it, the user interface around it, to make it usable than the people that write the white paper. Because for them, it's not, they're just getting this idea out to the world. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing research.
But I think the tooling is
it's
where it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like the seed of just like, oh, look, we could do this. Like, how do we integrate this technology into our existing pipelines and bring artists on board to make this work? And
you're right. Between this and
the
camera control tool,
reacting.
I agree with you that we just saw. Like, this is the AI 2.0 tool sets that we're going to see over the next couple of years. Like, what happens after generation? How do you get
rid of the text prompting? How do we how do we interact with these tools in real time, sort of how we normally would with a real camera? Or, if you're doing miniatures or models, like, and I'm moving this cup around and it moves in real time, how do we bring that to the to the computer, to AI? All right, a couple other quick updates. This one is maybe a little niche, but I was in a specific bind and looking for something, and it sounds kind of technical, but it's cool what they built. So Gemini, they said they added the file search tool inside the Gemini API. What does this actually mean in practice? Basically, if you use any of the AI chat tools and you want to give it a bunch of information as like a knowledge base, the AI chat, they have the context window. And so pretty soon it's going to fill out that context window and you're going to max it out. So like if you're working on a film and you want to give it the script, or the script is not so long, but in our case, we're working on documentaries and we want to give it like transcripts from all the interviews so it knows that. But if you give it the whole stack of transcripts every time, it's going to max out the context window and you're going to like hit your limit super fast. And so the solution to that was using a RAG.
Retrieval augmentation model?
Retrieval augmentation something.
It's a database retrieval implementation.
Yeah, you store all your files in this database and it sort of indexes them, and then your AI chatbot can go and find the information that it's looking for. If you like ask it, hey, where does someone talk about this line in this transcript? It's kind of clunky to set up if you're not a technical person. You have to kind of connect a couple tools together. Gemini now just announced a new product where basically it's still an API, so it's still a little bit technical, but basically they merge the RAG and the Gemini chatbot into one tool. So you can just give it all the files and then ask Gemini about your files, and you can give it thousands and thousands of files and it'll be able to index. It automatically does the indexing. It automatically does all of that stuff that used to take a lot more technical know-how. It just does it automatically. And so this is useful. I mean, it's definitely useful for these for our documentary projects, but it makes me think of just having that sort of central knowledge base of any project you're working on and being able to have a chat interface to talk to it. Sort of what Bryn talked about in when we interviewed him, where it's like he sees like each film having its own sort of custom AI model or kind of custom knowledge base tied to it. This is a step in that direction to make that easier for any small team to set up themselves and have a central chatbot database about anything about their project.
I think you're absolutely right. These are like the quality of life improvements that make or break a production, right? And this is going to go under the radar, sort of like, we want to see image and video, but no, this is the stuff that actually makes the difference in a massive production that would scale across multiple teams, multiple shows, and you name it.
Yeah. What version is this file on this thing? Where is that file? What is this quote on? So I think that's a good quality of life improvement. Okay. ByteDance. Yeah, this one's another quick update. But ByteDance now has their own video upscaler.
Okay.
It's on fall. It can upscale videos to HD, 2K, and 4K, 30 to 60 frames per second. The pricing, I mean, it's 0.0072 cents a second. So
like
pretty cheap.
7/10 of a penny.
So yeah, this is it's good. You know, I mean, I love Topaz. Use Topaz a lot for everything, but it's good to have a couple options there too, because yeah, like all the AI tools, depending on what you're trying to upscale, some of the generative upscalers are good at some types of shots, and some are better at other types of
Absolutely.
shots. So
and I will welcome 7/10 of a penny price. Thank you, ByteDance.
Yeah.
Is it subsidized by China?
So yeah, good update
Do you think
there.
that's why it's so cheap?
Well, let me see. It does say that was for the 1080 upscaling. I wonder what the 4K upscaling is. It's probably a slightly different pricing here. If we do 4K, 60 frames per second.
I ran out of my
upscale,
file credits. Time to re-up and try all these new things.
It is, if you go to 4K, it's 2 cents, almost 3 cents a second. So a little bit higher. And then if you go 60 frames per second, that doubles the cost. So if you're going 60 frames, 4K upscale, that's about 6 cents a second.
Yeah,
not
the examples are always generated video upscaled. Why can't they just take real footage and upscale it? It would look so much better. Yeah, with like weird color space issues and lighting issues. Yeah.
He's having a bad hair day. Yeah. That's why he's so angry. It's like, my hair's a mess.
Yes. Joey, you had to do some dad jokes on this episode.
And then, speaking of fall, WAN 2.2 Animate has an upgrade, 4 times faster inference, sharper, cleaner visuals, 8 cents a second at 720. And this is a good way to use WAN 2.2 Animate because also, as we were DMing before, but like there's no, it's not, as of now, it's not really built into many tools. Like it's not built into free pick and stuff to use. So if you don't have Comfy Cloud or kind of want to get into the whole Comfy thing, you could just mess around with Fall and just pay for your usage, and that's a good way to dabble with WAN 2.2.
It's a solid tool. It's super slept on, underrated. I think it would solve most people's animation needs, honestly, if used correctly.
Yeah, the performance in it has been great. Yeah, I told you that I didn't. If you use the WAN 2.2 Animate workflow in Comfy, the default option for whatever weird reason is not to take an image and drive the image performance with the video, which is obvious, the common use case. It is to, maintain the person in the video and then sort of blend them with the input image. So I did it with a test performance of myself. I guess if you wanted to kind of just put yourself as animate yourself into a new environment. I don't know. I think there could be use cases there. I got to mess with it. It wasn't what I was expecting. But I gave it a test performance video of myself, and then it turned me into like a half-looking elf because I was trying to drive an elf video performance, and then it was video of me with like elf ears in like a Santa's workshop.
I'll upscale that. I'm gonna do some post-processing on that video once you send it to me.
I know. I mean, actually, like what we're literally talking about, it could be for this use case that we're seeing right here, where the woman wants to maintain her look, and she's just she's changing her environment, but she's not changing herself. Yeah. She's changing her costume. She's changing her environment. So I think it would be more for that kind of use cases. Whereas if she wanted to use her motion to drive a completely different character,
so in this example, how do you determine? Like the woman's head doesn't change, but the body changes. Like, is there controls for that?
In the Comfy workflow, there is an extra step where you mark off what you want to keep and what you want to delete. And it does a very rough mask. I don't know how that works on Fall. If Fall gives you the same option.
I'd imagine it's all API driven, so it's probably in there. Okay. I was going to ask you, so if you're running Comfy locally, you could bring in a Fall node and have that node point to WAN 2.2? How would you do it?
There's not an easy way. I use Claude Code to make a node.
You're advanced, Joey.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a video about that, because that was one of my Claude Code use cases. Was I wanted to turn. Oh, I did a demo of it at the Comfy UI meetup in LA. That was where I feel like I talked about this. That was where I talked about this. But that was my dream case. Was like I wanted to bring in Fall API nodes into Comfy. So there's a couple reasons why you don't want to do that. But one is like if you want to use models that aren't available with cloud.
Yeah, you're always at the latest and greatest model, which are generally not available for a while onto like a free pick or whatnot. And then also fall is quite cheap, quite efficient, and like $1 goes a long way.
Yeah, false pricing's great. Comfy UI doesn't have every single model as a native node, API node. And then also if you're doing client work and you want to just maintain separate billing, there's no, in Comfy, everything's billed under your account. There's no way to like segment how you bill things. So there's a couple reasons why you would want to bring Fall API nodes into Comfy, but there's no easy way to do it. But I have a Claude code where I just give it the URL and I'm like, turn this into a Comfy node.
You're up against the clock here because Comfy Cloud is quite good at 1.2.2 Animate. It's just the bugs need to be worked out.
Yeah, I mean, that's one specific thing, but there's tons of models on Fall that are just not on Comfy. If you wanted to like really cover the whole gamut of like what is out there and try out a bunch of models, Fall and replicate.
Yeah, like for example, the ByteDance upscaler that we just talked about. That's probably not going to be available anywhere else.
Exactly right. I think the only upscaler on Comfy is like Topaz.
All right, Joey. So another research paper, another day, another paper. This time we have InfinityStar. Quite the name. And guess what? The description is gonna have you talk about Interstellar because it is a unified space-time autoregressive framework for high-resolution image and dynamic video synthesis. Blah.
I feel like there's no way to talk about that without Hans Zimmer score playing in the background.
So what it is, so I could be wrong here, and viewers, if you know better than me on this paper, please comment. My interpretation is that generally for video model generation, you have latent space that is separated into two spaces. So you have your temporal latent space, which has the notion of motion. And then you have the spatial latent space, which is more consistent with like image generation. Like it has an awareness of what the beach, what the palm tree, the rocks look like. And then it'll build the aspects of the image. And then the temporal latent space knows motion, knows camera movements, and some of the time-based things. So it'll then take that image and build the video out of it. So what this InfinityStar paper seems like is it mashes those two things together into a single latent space so that you have the awareness of the temporal aspects as well as the spatial aspects all in the same part. And that gives you robust generation abilities when it comes to extended video, right? Like beyond 5 seconds, beyond 10 seconds. Or if you want to generate an image that has time-like applications to it. So if you're doing motion blur, for example, on a still image, things like that. What are your thoughts on this?
That's right. So you're saying it's kind of like instead of a video generation, we're trying to kind of predict what the next few frames should be that makes sense. It also has an understanding of like what the world is like to kind of make it more consistent and basically like follow the have a more consistent feel.
It says it's a space-time unifier. So I think we tend to separate those two things out mathematically in the AI neural network world, where this is just treating all of it as the same type of thing. So time is just another asset. Any time-dependent things like motion is just another object in the latent space, if that makes sense.
I'm looking at the demo clips, and it's like the demo clips don't really...
Yeah, it's a little bit cryptic for sure. Again, at this point, it's just basically a white paper.
No, there is a demo, because I went... They have a Discord where you can prompt and generate some stuff, but I would say there's nothing in the outputs that makes it look like... it's not like... I'm thinking of ByteDance's, other model like C-Dream, where you can create cuts in the output and it's like in the same latent space generation, so you have that consistency. So yeah, I think combo. It is a paper that has some demos, but it's not really showcasing what.
Okay, well, TBD, and I'm sure we're gonna do another retake on this when we get more information.
Yeah, and when we see some interesting outputs. I think it also might be an open model as well, where you could download the weights and run it yourself, but I might be incorrect about that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, to just kind of see how different models are rethinking the way they generate.
Well, a lot of good progress today, man.
Yeah, being off for a week, we got a lot to catch up on. So, All right, yeah. Links for everything we talked about at denoisepodcast.com or over down on the show notes over on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
We just got our 21st review on Spotify Podcast, so thank you, whoever you are. We appreciate it. And also on YouTube, we have a new feature called Hype Points, which we're going to show you in this recording here. So if you are on the app, you scroll right underneath our video, there is a new button called Hype. Give us some hype points. Let's see how it goes.
Sure. I would still want to know what the hype points look like. So yeah, let's see that. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you in the next episode.